Hi guys, thanks for joining me. Welcome to my channel. So what we're looking at is Does He Love Me? And this is your early bird clarifier round. So this actually will be clarified at the end of the video. So you can go make sure to check out the end of the video for your clarifiers on the full reading. Does He Love Me? And I hope you guys are doing well. And this will not stay up forever, so you better go and find out now, okay? Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Varouche, and this is the Pick a Card channel. Make sure to subscribe. This is different than my main channel, so go subscribe down below. I have three options, 1, 2, and 3. And so the question is, does he love me, right? So we have three options. Does he love me? 3 chances. You guys can do this anytime. It's a timeless reading. And if you are dating women, then please just switch it around to does she love me? So please be liberal with your the gender or of the other person. Although in these messages there's very little that you can get stuck on, but if you want to ask about a woman, go right ahead. So you have 1, 2, 3 options, and go to that part of the reading. If it doesn't vibe for you, then please choose another one. Or if you want to actively manifest a different option, then you can just simply switch to a different one and commit to that reality. So you can actually do it's a frequency switch or a frequency tuning that you can do to choose a different option, to select a different dimension that you want to direct towards. So make the decisions for your life. Make decisions for your life, and just trust that you can in some way, make the option that's right for you. So if it's feeling like that's not what you want, then you don't have to have it. You can set the intention now, okay? I hope you guys are doing really well, and I wish you guys all the best, and I will talk with you soon. Take care. Bye. Hey guys, so you chose number 1 to find out if he loves you. My camera's a little jacked, but it looks like it stabilized. I've been kind of giving up on it. Okay, so let's find out what you chose. Does he love you? We have the message of retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. So let's look a little bit deeper. We have some tarot cards today. So our first card is pause and observation. And this is the 9 of Rods, and then we have the Emperor card. So the keywords are masculine, influence, and power. I feel as though it's time for you to in some way reflect on the love that you share with your partner or your prospective partner. Really think about what you want in this situation, if it's bringing you the things that you want, or if it's actually just like you trying to grab at something that's not easily available. The next message is, so maybe it's like the chase that is actually making you want this situation more. Then we have the Ace of Swords, which is status surge. I feel as though there is a communication that someone has received about the relationship that has changed, caused them to pause. It's caused them to think about what they're actually doing in a situation. And then we have the 4 of Swords, which is recovery and retreat. So I think that there is this environment in which, oh, that's so interesting, this is the retreat card. So it feels like there has been an event that caused pause in this relationship. Something was said or something was written that really in some way caused the situation to kind of wait and hold. I feel like there is a reflection on the union itself. There's reflection on whether the union is right for the couple, whether or not the union is suitable. There's a lot of speculation about the man as opposed to the woman. So if there's a female in this relationship, if we're talking about females, then someone who's adopting the more masculine persona is the person who's being very heavily scrutinized in this situation. And I think that it's causing like a sobriety to happen in this relationship. The sobriety is that there has to be like clear thinking about what's exactly going on, whether you want it, how you want it, all of that stuff. Here is the next message. We have the Three of Wands, dreams of change, excuse me. So there's a reunion that may have been possible. This could mean that somebody was going to have a reunion with someone who they possibly had feelings for in the past, or even a relationship, and maybe this is what paused things indefinitely. Here is the next message. We have the Hermit, which is the card of the Virgo. So there's this consideration of a reunion with someone, visiting someone after not seeing them for a while. However, I feel as though there's like a pressing need to see someone, and that's sort of overshadowing your current relationship. We have the Sun next. Happiness and success are in this relationship in the future. And we have a new career moves, Ace of Pentacles. I feel as though there's real insight about changes. So what this is actually talking about is someone taking some time out here. I'll show you this card closer. About someone taking some time out to really think through in their circumstances. I feel like they had in some way really waited or really had to think about things before carrying on. And that decompression of the brain is actually really helping them to figure out which direction they'll take, and there's a reunion with someone. Now, I did say that there's a possibility of taking someone back from the past, like a past relationship. But then as I saw more of the cards, I thought, oh, maybe this is just like a family reunion or seeing a friend or some kind of a connection like that. But I feel like the heart, or the heart, this speaks to me to the heart. So it says awards, what is it? Camaraderie and affection. So I think that the Sun typically in a reading just automatically says everything's fine. That's why I said maybe it's not something. But I think somebody's attention is being taken away from the present moment. I think there's a level of stress here, and I think that there's a level of maybe needing to prioritize suddenly something else, like a reunion with someone. So someone is being, kind of taken aback to the side, and they are in some way, at first it feels strange. At first it feels like, what's going on? Are we breaking up? Is this situation going to work out? There's a real doubt there. But I think as time progresses, you will see that there's other priorities that have come up, and they're not competing priorities. And in fact, soon, this is like almost like a gift is being given. There's a possibility that a gift is being given, or something new is beginning. So I think you might be very pleasantly surprised that something is evolving out of this. So let's take a look at our 2 oracle cards to finish up. And then we have the 1 card, which is transformation. So fundamentally, the environment is transforming. Your dynamic is transforming between you and your partner. And I think that their life or your life is changing, with different priorities coming to the forefront. And so as those priorities are changing, then I feel like it's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, I think it's good for both people, but it might feel unnerving. And I think for a time it was quite exhausting, to the effect that you probably felt tired or exhausted or worried that something was wrong, when in fact it wasn't. The next message is, we have the channeling card. Now I reserved this card for a higher purpose, and so the message of channeling really is talking about speaking with the divine and connecting with a higher source. So I feel like this is a transmutation of energy through past lives. So this is the karmic piece. This is the right time for this transformation to happen. And so what you're actually experiencing is probably some shift in or attention away from the relationship towards some other things. But soon enough, that person and the situation will come right back around and offer. It's going to be a really wonderful thing. It's like somebody going off and getting something and bringing it back home. It's that kind of energy. So that person will be happier for having gone and done what he needs or what she needs to do. and then they'll come back around and be very present, and I think that your fears are going to be alleviated. So they need a bit of a, it looks like alone time, and I feel as though there's a higher purpose for all of this, and you may not be fully aware of everything that's going on yet. Okay, I hope you guys like this option. If you didn't like it, if it didn't vibe, then choose another option, or maybe come back another time. This is a timeless reading. Make sure to comment and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hi you guys, thank you for choosing this option. And so we're going to take a look at if he loves you. So let's see. We have the card of engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. I like this card. It's really cute. I like this man's hat. And I like how he has his feet crossed. It's kind of cool. Legs crossed. Okay, so let's see your cards. So you have the Emperor, which is the masculine influence and power card. The Emperor often represents the father, a husband, potential husband. So there could be some very significant thoughts that are going on in this relationship. Pause, observation, the Nine of Rods. So I feel as though there's a degree of assessment about a situation. It's really someone is assessing a situation to figure out if it's right for them or if they want to follow through with it. Here is the next message. We have the Strength card. This is the card of Leo. Here it's called Courage and an Open Heart. I feel as though this person has very deep feelings about the situation, and that's why they're being very conservative with them. They're holding back because they are guarding their feelings. They're making sure that their feelings don't get hurt. Maybe they've been hurt in the past. There could have been another situation in which a relationship broke apart in the past. If there was a past breakup that is in some way, there is a past breakup that isn't, for some of you, really pressing continually into this situation, and that is affecting the flow of events. Now, everybody has relationships, but there's a certain energy, just for some of you, not all of you, and the breakup was complicated and it was difficult, and it really in some way affected how a person is, or how they're opening up to others. And so I feel like someone was pretty greatly affected by a past situation. And then we have the Four of Wands, recharge your hopes, which is maybe there's some consideration of either moving in together or being together in the same home or family. The Four of Wands is a marriage card, so you have several cards that could really suggest that there's some real consideration about making a more serious relationship. Now, these days, a lot of people have relationships without getting married because a lot of people have learned that it's really expensive to get divorced and complicated. So a lot of people choose just to stay in partnerships or legally partnered up in a relationship. So maybe this is to do with that, but it's definitely considering very serious feelings and a commitment to another person. And then we have the Two of Pentacles. Financial issues are a factor. So someone is worried that they won't have enough money. Someone is worried that they won't make money in the future. There's this kind of feeling of instability and not a lack mentality, but there is a concern that things will actually pull through in the end. Here is the next message. We have the Chariot, inspired warrior. Somebody is coming around. They could be a Cancer, but somebody is coming around to sort of teach a lesson. And when I say they're coming around, I mean that person will come into your lives and in some way affect the person who is having an anxiety struggle over money and over financial situations. They are meant to have an interaction with someone who's going to teach them about opening up, or teach them about feeling more comfortable with what they have, or maybe teach them how to get more money to feel secure. There's like a life lesson that they are about to learn about being more not afraid so much, trusting a bit more in their situation. I feel like concern about money. It's not that there's a lack of money, it's there's a real concern for the future of things, and that's putting brakes on things, and that person who's experiencing that feeling is going to have an experience with someone else who like a spirit or a person who they meet, a karmic friend who teaches them some type of lesson about that. The next message is the Lovers, the Soulmates, and Decisions card. This is the card of Gemini. This is the card of Cancer. I mentioned that already. So I feel like financial issues may be something that comes for this person from an early age. It may have something to do with parents and the way they were brought up and just where they're coming from. I feel like they really wish to have a close relationship, but they feel that those types of ambitions are really difficult to achieve in life. I think that they're really in their head about financial issues, and they feel like they feel responsible and they don't want to be a burden on someone else. So there's this real, I feel like there's a real concern for money and worry about money. So they worry about money for themselves, but more so they worry about money, like if you have kids, if there's like something, they're really worried about affecting another person's life with what's going on for them. And then last, this jumped out, so you have the Fool, a new beginning. And so I feel like, yeah, there's breakthrough moment here. You know, somebody's considering all of this. They just need time to figure out their issues. They need to figure out their issues. They need to figure out what's going on. I feel as though they need to maybe find themselves a more secure place. Sometimes it's very helpful just to find more security to address concerns, something that they know they can do in the future if financially something happens, having some kind of nest egg or some type of skill that they can go to. Maybe they need to pursue that first. So it might be a little bit of waiting depending on your situations or circumstances. But I do feel like the new beginning is here. These are all trump cards, and so what this means is that there will be definitely some kind of new beginning, and I think the desire is there for closeness and engagement and marriage. This can include moving in together and having a formal partnership, but I think money needs to be addressed first. And then we have Joy on the foundation. So this is a person who you're dealing with who may have not had very much in life. So they're a person who may have been significantly downtrodden or had very difficult life circumstances. And they may be from a normal, like, middle class family or whatnot, but their experience was really, really overwhelmed with real difficulties, maybe connected to their father. And they have a lot of issues to do with feeling worthy enough or feeling like they to fit in, because they feel like they didn't have the level of security and comfort that would be necessary to participate. They feel like they are from outside, so they're experiencing a great deal of joy in this situation. There's so many positive feelings here. There's a great deal of joy and satisfaction, but I think that they in some way doubt that it could be there for them because life has actually kept them out of the loop so much. So be very kind of understanding and compassionate to their experience, because they're really overwhelmed. That's the feeling that I'm getting. Really overwhelmed with the circumstances they have found themselves in, but there's this joy and happiness that they actually have it. It's just they don't have the confidence that it's theirs for them, because life has really attacked their confidence to do with what they deserve and what they can have. Here is the next message. We have the soul name, and so I'm leaving this last card for each option as like a higher purpose, higher spiritual message. So the soul name to me represents that this is like a soulmate relationship And the person that you're thinking about is like someone who is actually extremely spiritually gifted. This is a person who is extremely spiritually special. And so I feel like they in some way are in some way very much their life position may be lower than yours in terms of like position in society. They may have like a lower level of education, but their spirit is very, very high. Their spirit is very, very intense, and they are a very potent person. And in some way, they're preoccupied with the third dimension, with the dimension of the material, and that kind of keeps them bound to not stepping into the level up. But that's in some way something you could help them with, but more so that's something that you have to let them work out for themselves, because that energy that's holding them down is actually something that is extremely that energy that's holding them down is extremely like interwoven in their life in some way. So just be very, very patient. This person is a very, very special person. Not to you, not just to you. They're a special person to a lot of people. They just need to wake up into that energy. They just need to fully learn to own it. Okay? And there's a really good sign here that that's the case, that's what's happening. I'm reading, this is a timeless reading, right? But I'm reading when Uranus is with the sun, which is this breakthrough moment. It's a moment of conscious awareness, and the Fool is this opening up energy. So whenever you're watching this, the Fool is ruled by Uranus, so there's this real bright opening and awareness about circumstances. They're having their eyes open into who they are, and maybe you are as well. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you don't like this option, make sure to choose another one. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye. Hi guys, so you chose number 3 of Does He Love Me? Let's see what your core message is. We have love yourself first. I hate this one. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Can we choose another? Oh my god. Okay, fine, I'll keep it because it's the proper way to do it. I can't show you this. This is your higher purpose card. Okay, so let's see. So you have the Hermit, and so we have the Wisdom of Solitude. This is the Virgo card. And then we have the nervous about change. Okay, nervous about change. I feel like you have withdrawn quite a bit from other circumstances and situations. You have really kind of isolated yourself in some way, and have in some way kept yourself from being open to life's possibilities. You have not welcomed in too much social interaction, and so I feel like you are about to find something really beautiful about yourself. And when you find that thing, it's going to be something like, you know, a new way to do your hair, a new interest, something that maybe even adopt a pet or something like that, or rescue an animal. But for whatever reason, there's like enlightenment coming into your life. And so as enlightenment comes into your life about something new, and a new petal of your personality unfolds. You know how flowers kind of blossom like this? So a new petal of the flower is unfolding, and a new part of yourself is being revealed at this time. Here, let's see the next message. We have the Hanged Man. So this is almost like a cocoon option. We have suspense and waiting. This feels like a cocoon with a butterfly in it. And so I think that something is gestating, something is still being transformed, and it's not really come to the surface about what that thing is. It's something completely different than you have had in your life. So it's not something you've done before. It's not an aspect of your personality that's been really at the center of things, and yet it's something that's deeply familiar. It's something that you always truly wanted. So for example, I love horses. I've ridden a horse maybe 2 or 3 times, And I love horses. I really wanted a horse for a long time, but obviously I live in a city. Horses in Canada are very, very expensive to keep. I think they cost maybe, I've heard prices like $3,000 a month just to maintain a horse, and I think that that's a conservative estimate. So to have a horse is a real privilege. And so it would be like me getting to own a horse and getting to ride all the time. So this is something that is completely different. I have minimal experience with horses, and it's like stepping into something completely new, doing something completely different. And when that happens, I feel like that's when you also change. When you, that let's say that right now you are really into writing, so you write and you go to a poetry group and you talk about poetry, or maybe you like video games and you're playing video games, or you like to go for walks. When you find this new thing about yourself, those things that you're doing now, they're going to not be present anymore, not to the same degree. So you're basically stepping through into a different set of interests, and it's time in your life to adopt new interests and to find this new you that's emerging alongside them. And it's all based on the foundation of where you've come from, but it's coming now. And then we have loving union and teamwork, the Two of Cups. And so I feel like you're being given time by the universe. Maybe this person is doing it, but I really don't think so. I don't think that this person would have the foresight or the knowledge to really understand to give you this. But I think what's actually happening is that you're currently meant to sort of evolve and become a different person. And as you evolve and you become a different person, that's this part about loving yourself first. It's not that you don't love yourself right now, it's just the things you've been doing are sort of antiquated. They're things that you did before. You're still doing them because maybe that's what you're good at, or maybe you got used to doing them, or maybe you don't know what else to do. But it's almost like if you live in a city or if you live in a town, it's like going a different direction home, driving a different direction, or even walking. Walking's way better to visualize, right, than driving. So walking a different direction home, going home a different way. And so in this situation, this is very much about you picking up a new skill, a new personality trait, maybe going from blonde to brunette, or maybe a redhead, hey girl, hey. But yeah, there's a transformation that's going on here that you're definitely connected with, and the universe is putting the hold on you before you get there. So I think it's monumental. Let's see the next message. We have the Seven of Cups. So we have decadence and indulgence. The Seven of Cups is one of the harder cards for love because it can mean a couple different things. It can mean inspiration, but it can also mean deception. So it's very similar with the Moon. And then we have the Strength card, and that is courage and an open heart, the card of Leo. This is more kind of getting lost in the moment of doing what you love to do. I swim. I love swimming. And there's an outdoor pool in Vancouver that I love swimming at that's going to be open in, oh shoot, it's going to be open really soon. And in maybe 3 weeks. And it's like 137 meters long. And when I really get into my swimming, it's that moment of swimming back and forth that I just adore. And it's outside and it's beautiful and it's inspiring. So when you're in the moment of your inspiration, when you're in the moment of, it's almost like the dervish dancers, circling around and circling around until you get lost in the fervor and the beauty. That's when it's going to happen. And it's coming now. So don't feel like I'm saying like this guy doesn't love you and you're going to have to wait a long time. This is very much about you falling in love with something you're doing or something you're being and getting really caught up in that. Then we have the Ten of Swords, healing and a second chance. Second chance, hey? I typically don't read the Ten of Swords as a second chance, but here it is. So let's honor that. So if this was a relationship that failed you in the past, maybe there is this revision piece. But the Ten of Swords to me really, it's almost like a consecration, a conclusion ceremony, a ceremony to put something in the past, burying something that represents a memory, burning something that represents your past, and just really letting it go. I think that you'll have this moment where you'll take a decisive step, and it'll be with your will. So within you, you will have the awareness that, as if you agree, this is the end of this situation, and then you'll agree and it'll be the end of that situation, and then you'll carry on. Here is the next message. We have the Eight of Pentacles, talent and skills. This is Sun in Virgo. So we're looking at August maybe, but this is July, so we're getting closer and closer to now, right? So, and this is Venus in Cancer, which is going to be even sooner than that if it's not there yet. Not there yet, guys, but it's coming up. So yeah, it's in the next little while. These are timeless readings, so whenever you watch, it's going to be right. But I feel like you're celebrating the end of something. For those of you who are really wanting someone to come back, there is a signal of that. I wouldn't read the Ten of Swords in that way, but it's very putting the past in the past, and in some way making a decision to work towards something because you feel so passionate about it. You may get also caught up with a couple different people who may show up in the recent future, or in the soon-to-be future, and I feel like they in some way create a certain degree of emotional confusion in your life, and that makes me wonder if not you have some people that are in some way draining you or dragging down your energy, and they may not be doing it willfully. They may be family members or friends, and I think that you're permissive of it because you love them, but I think the energy is actually, in some ways, it's keeping you caught in a net. It's keeping you going back to the same things over and over again. So this is like your breakthrough moment for what I feel as though you've had a certain degree of separation from elements that trigger you and keep you kind of hostage and keep you sort of toxic. And in that moment, there's been like this breakthrough. It's almost like light breaking through the cracks of insight into who you are and what you really stand behind. But there come again circumstances in which there will be people who in some way kind of pollute that pure energy, and they may be ill themselves. They may have a low vibration, or they may have they have internalized and they have scars from life themselves. And it's very, very hard. One of the hardest things we all have to go through is when we have family members or friends who have issues that are consequences of life struggle, because then you're caught in a conundrum between being with them and having to separate yourself for your improvement, right? So, and there's sometimes it's black and white, but in some ways the gray area is the more problematic one, because people can really struggle for a long time about what to do about things. So I feel like I have to tell you guys, I don't mean to be disparaging, but that came through very, very clear, that there's two people who may in some way be causing this kind of like falling back into old habits sort of thing. Here is the next message. We have the beautiful card, the Whispers. So you know how I said the light going through the cracks, in order to send a message forward. Sorry about that, can't do much about it right now. But the light going through the cracks and illuminating. So it's like whispers. There was like universe guiding you into this experience. I think you may have met somebody as you were going through all this, and I think you really liked them. But honestly, I feel like who you're going to become is not necessarily in alignment. It may be if it's someone who you love, but I feel like who you're going to become, who you are becoming right now, is just really special. And here is the last card. This is your higher alignment, right? So you're achieving alignment. That's what I was trying to say about these people. And they may be at work, which is even harder. they're throwing you off of alignment, right? And so you need to make your best judgment. Sometimes we can't quit a job. Sometimes it's very subtle and we can't make a decision very clearly. So you're going to have to figure out some ways to protect yourself. And loving yourself is protecting yourself in those kinds of dynamics, knowing what to internalize. And the worst part is, I think I got sidetracked, but what I was trying to say is, the worst part is that if you have a habit, let's say you love cake, but you can't eat it because you're pre-diabetic or you want to lose some weight, and you have a friend who's always eating cake. That's really, really hard, because those addictions, they're triggers. So they're in some way, don't take this lightly. This energy is triggering for you. I'm sure you'll do fine, but love yourself. And I think that this is a challenge to love yourself. It's funny because in this option, does he love you? He barely showed up. Like there was something here, there was some romance, but I felt like he was just playing second fiddle to your future, to playing second fiddle to who you're becoming. Okay? I hope you enjoyed this, and I will talk with you soon. Take care. Bye. Hi there. Well, I'm glad you stuck around for the Clarifier Round. This is the early bird Clarifier Round to find out if he loves you. So some of the options were definitely not to do, they didn't have like a clear, they were more broad about relationships. So maybe this will give you a more succinct answer. So your first answer is reflection, and then we have the energy balance card. So if you chose number 1, I feel like he in some way needs to focus his attention, and maybe you need to kind of, I feel as though the person who's picking you, I feel like you have in some way too many things going on right now, and I feel like there's like other preoccupations that are mudding your waters. In other words, you have thoughts, feelings, or events going on that are throwing you out of alignment, and that came up in a couple of the options as well. So I feel like this is like a stronger reminder that right now you need to really, rather than focus on does he love you, I think he does, but I think that you need to in some way get your head clear, get your heart straight, the whole chakra system. Check out my chakra balance video on this channel. But I feel like you just need to really, simplify yourself down, and then take another look. I think that there needs to be more, just taking out the negativity. Or whatever's negative around you. Something's affecting you that's scattering your energy a little bit, okay? So just take care of that. It's not a lot. It's just you need to maybe drink some more green juice or something like that. Okay, so here is the next message. For number 2, we have dreams, and then we have power, personal power. Okay, so I feel like in this option, I feel what's going on with this person that you have in your mind, and of course it can be a woman as well. I feel like this person has an intimate connection with you, and it comes through in your dreams. For some of you, you'll know this. If this person is the ambitious kind, if this person is the kind that he wants to do a lot, I think that what you're seeing, there may be a lot more to it. There might be a lot deeper level to it than the ambition you're seeing, and that deeper level may be actually something you don't want to be a part of. So I have a feeling that this person may be overly ambitious or even narcissistic. So if the lights are going off about that, then just be very, very cautious with this person and their energy. But if you don't feel that that's the case with this person really is power oriented, and power kind of is drawing them in towards you, and in your dreams there's a deep connection. Whether that translates into the world and worldly experiences, that's yet to be found out, but there's like a hypnotic element to this option. This person is hypnotized by the situation. They're dreaming about you, they're connecting psychically with you in their dreams, and I feel like they are seduced by that whole experience. Okay, so here is the number 3 option. So what do we have? We have the mystic. So somebody sees you as the mystic. And then you have the source. So I feel like this person is deeply spiritual, and their connection with you is deeply spiritual as well. I feel as though they feel like they are guided by the universe to be present with you in the current moment. There's a feeling that this is a special experience that they're having, a mystical experience that they're having, something that's really transcendental. You know, they feel like you and them have a spiritual purpose. They may feel they're your twin flame, or you're their twin flame. They feel like this is a love that is of spirit, okay? Of spirit, okay? So they're very much, they're engulfed in the concept or the idea of spiritual experiences. They're very much with spirit, and that's guiding them right now. The next message is number 4. We have sacred union and sacred wisdom. Isn't that funny that they came up like this? So this is more of like this to me seems like someone who's preoccupied with the ideas of spirit, the ideas of love. This is like very much like, hey, let's do it, go for it, you know, I feel the connection. This is probably, out of all the options, the one that's most active in terms of their love. Okay, this is the person who wants to go out, wants to be together. They don't have hang-ups. This person's like high in the sky kind of thing. Not high, but like their head is all about like angels and spirit and things. And so when you strip all that down, what's the actual math of the situation? Does it actually make sense? And then this person may have a power issue, but there's this like a real kind of synergy, chemistry. And and in this situation, the people who chose this, maybe the other person needs to really simplify things down, but I actually think it's the person who chose this. It's a reminder that you're in some way feeling anxious because you have so many things going on, and you have someone that you're interested in, and those things that you really need to take care of are in some way, they're some way destabilizing the relationship you want. But in fact, those are the things that you have to take care of for you, and that's the most important thing. So it's almost like, you know, you have to finish your school, you have to do this or that. You need to get rid of the superfluous things that are in some way distracting you. This is a very strong message, and it's so simple. Just don't feel like you have 1,000 things to do and it's going to be horrible. The main message here was, it's so simple, it's so light, the little things you need to change. And when you change those little things, like quitting smoking, or, you know, doing something that you promised yourself you would do, you're going to feel so much better. So I think that the message was here about that. So this is probably, if you guys are wondering, this is, if you chose number 4, this is the most like green light for a relationship. These are all orange lights. There's no red light here, but these are 3 orange lights where there could be different motivations at play. They're not bad motivations, but if you're looking for pure love, these 3, this is like someone who's preoccupied with theology or philosophy, so you don't actually know. You know, like someone who is almost like so into the idea that you're like, hey buddy, like just focus on me here a little bit. This person may be extremely ambitious, so the red light will go off if that's the case, but otherwise this person is deeply sensual connection. And then this person, there's like a requirement for one or both people to in some way deal with the things that are in some way throwing them off of alignment. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this little bonus. I'm going to keep it up for the next couple days, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Take care. Bye.